Hello, everyone. Good to see you. I just wanted to say I'm going live today. I'm going to be working on the Garrison caps. I have some things pinned together, and so now I'm ready to start sewing them together. I've been doing a lot of work on these, trying to get everything working right for me. Worked on the technique to make it more smooth, and really hoping it works well. So let me go over here to the to the sewing machine. If you cannot hear my voice, I do apologize. I'm going to talk louder and see. Let me sit down and do a test run. Now, can you hear me okay from here? You can hear me. Awesome. So I'm going to do a test run real quick because I haven't run my machine in a little while. Okay. Seems to be feeling a little tight, but it is stitching good. I keep a sleeve over the thread when it's not being used so that the thread doesn't unwind off the spool, and it keeps getting caught on that. One of the things I did was I put a blue tape here. I changed my seam line from a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch, and this will allow me to butt those edges up right to that blue tape. And that looks a little bit better. Doesn't seem to be puckering as much now. There's also no oil from the machine on here, which means when I oiled it, I cleaned it up good. That's important. I'm going to relegate the scissors to my other chair. I'm going to use one of my toiletry set containers to put these clips in as I pull them out. Let's see if I can find a way to make it sit over here. Huh. Stick it there. Hi, Rosie. I can see I got Jennifer and Rosie in here. One of the things I'm doing with this new technique is sewing one piece of this hat on at a time, then stitching the front and back seams. pull these out a little bit. I don't guess you can see. Yeah, you can see my white line here. And you can see I'm stitching along that white line. Because with leather, you have to stitch precise. There is no ripping it out and restitching it. You get it or you don't. I went ahead and marked that seam allowance. And this time I'm not stitching it all the way to the end. Do not put the scissors on that side. It's the wrong side of me. So I stitched right along that line. I got a good crisp edge there. And then next thing I'll do is I'll clip the piece that goes on this side. Then we'll go in and clean and do the stitching on this point. Let me see if I can pull that through. I'm pulling that back thread through so I can tie off this stitch, which I'm going to have to do outside of your view, I think. Because I have to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that is good for me, which isn't always good for the camera. And that way I don't have that end. Now when I pull this, that stitch doesn't come open. But I will clip this side on next. Then I will pull it and stitch the last of the seam. And if they both come back here, what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll arc it to create an arc into there so that it looks consistent and good and clean. And I would do the same thing here. When I go to sew that back seam, I'll start here and I'll arc it. But that should, when I get both of these pieces up, when both sides are sewn, and I go to stitch that, when I open the cap, it should give me a good crisp point in the front and in the back. So I'm only doing one side at a time. I have a little basket over here with all my parts in it that are clipped together. Guess I'm not using all that space. Yeah, I guess that looks okay. I know I have this piece here in the way a little bit. That's one of my lights that helps me see. Now this one is a little more tricky because there's this extra layer in here. So I'm going to try to ease these clips back just a little bit and see if I can leave the clips in place while I'm stitching all three layers. Leave them in as much as possible. And I absolutely cannot see my chat. So if anyone came in, welcome to the chat. I just absolutely cannot see anything while I'm over here at the sewing machine. One day, hopefully, I will be able to set this up where I'm using a widescreen TV down here as a monitor, which would allow me to see what people type in chat. This time, I'm going to stitch this slow, and I'm going to back stitch this just a couple of times. This one I'm going to go a little bit slower on because I do have that third layer in the middle to take into consideration. And that is that piped edge. And I will double check this after I stitch it. Because if I have to do this, redo one piece, it's better than having to redo the whole hat. So I don't want to find out I need to fix something after the fact. Get right to that point. Stitch back a little bit to lock that stitch in place. No, it's not releasing that thread like it should. I don't know where the sweet spot is on this machine yet. So yeah, when I turn that, I've got a nice crisp piping now. And this is one of them has the piping in it and one does not. So there's two, the hat styles are slightly different in that regard. Then I will clean up my clips. And I will be reusing these clips, so I just pull them to the side for now. I'm wondering if stitching it this way would be any better. Flip off a piece of this and let me see how this fits under the pressure foot. I think that might work better. It's still going to, that fits. I need to mark my seam allowance on the other side. I normally work with the majority of the fabric on the outside and the least amount of fabric on the inside. I like most of my fabric out here, the least amount in there. But for this instance, there's no easy way to put this under here. Oh, that's wrong. Wrong side anyway. Oh, I don't have an open mark. There's my quarter-inch mark. There's the quarter. I want to see how it lines up with it. Okay, so it's like right at the edge. It's going to be right here, I believe. Is that quarter-inch mark? I'll double check it before I say that's where it is. And I don't know how well you can see this. I put 6 under there. And mark a quarter-inch on this ruler. Make it easier for me to see when I put it under here. Lining up the 6. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's going to be, that's easy to see then. And the needle will hit that 6. It's actually over a little bit more. Don't know that I can do that. Oh, actually, it goes through the middle of the foot. Well, that's not convenient. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Yeah, that's... I got the line for the 6 lined up in the middle of my stitch hole. And it comes to right there. And right there is more like right there. And that makes sense. This should be a gap inch between those two. Ah, and yes, I do always put tape all over my machines. I'm actually using painter's tape, and painter's tape will not leave sticky goo all over the place. So let me see what I have in chat. I'm going to check my chat real quick, because saying hi to people and being polite is the right thing to do. Jump over to this machine for a second and see what I have over here. Oh, there's a lot of chat going on. Jennifer, I said hi to Rosie. Yeah, I know, Jennifer, you want me to use those containers for Twinkies, Ding Dongs, Oreos, and all that kind of good stuff. Rosie's crocheting on her blanket. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. Rosie. Cheese curds. Hello, Marcia. Hi, Lynette. Good to see you both here. Okay, I think I have now caught up on the chat. I hope you're all doing well. Checking looks over here. Looks kind of warpy right now, but I'll get it fixed eventually. I do have a second camera stand. I have a second phone to use as a camera also, but I can't get it to set up right yet. I will eventually get it to set up. So back over here to me. I have one of those trays you would put in the office to put so people could drop mail at your desk. That's what I have sitting over here, right off the desk, off the table, sitting over here with all the pieces for this project in it. That way I can keep all the pieces together. I need to move my scissors so they're not rubbing my belt. And I'm flipping how I'm stitching this, and there's a reason for this crazy logic. I have picked up something that's with me. Because I think that I can not put that down with a hook in it, right? Just hit the floor. There's another way I can clip this to hold it in place. And get it all situated. In theory, when I put this down, you absolutely cannot see it or feel it, but I can. And that is where the piping is. I do not hang up my stuff. And I don't know how that shows, but I've got this piping. And as long as I keep my edges together, I can push that piping right up against the pressure foot. And that should keep my seam edge even. And give me a good crisp piping. Now it also puts my clips off to this side, which is fine. I have a thread. Oh, no. I have a broke thread is what I have, or I ran out of thread. No! That's okay, because I'm going to actually restitch it the other way. It's not stitching close enough. Which in this case is okay, because I'm going to stitch closer to the piping next time, which won't show any extra stitching. Put this back in place. So I am going back to stitching it the way I was stitching it before, because I'm finding I'm getting a closer edge on the piping. Which this edge is kind of holding itself together, so I will not be stitching off this side. It's really hard to get this to slide for some reason. And we ran out of bobbin thread. So I should unthread this baby. And I am going to be doing some threading of the bobbin. Disengage my clutch so it doesn't move the needle. And cut this extra thread at the top of the bobbin. And I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to realign the camera to be the same. Again. So I can adjust that a little bit. Fix that to make it run smoothly. Oh goodness. You guys say so many things and I can't see the words. Yeah, Lisa and Kendra will go on tonight. I need to double check what time it is. It's either they usually go on around between 9:30 and 10:30 on Thursdays. I will be back over by the computer long before then, so I can double check what time they come on tonight. Thread out. This needle, this machine threads more strange than anything I have ever worked on before. Re-engagement clutch. Arm up where it belongs. Most of your domestic machines, you have these little grooves and you just slip between them and you slip your threads through all these little places. On this one, you have to thread it through holes all along the way. You have to thread it at the very top. The next gauge you thread it through, the next one you thread it through, then you slip it through the 2 tension discs, then you thread it through the next 3 holes as well. That is not normal. Usually you don't thread it through as many holes. And the pressure put it down. That's why the thread's not pulling. Okay, and then I'm going to run this down. And it's going to loop. I don't know how well you can see that in here. If you're going to see the thread come around and grab that other thread. And then I can pull this up. I grab both the loops of the bottom thread, then I should be able to pull my top thread under the too. That's the way I like it. Because the pressure foot has a hole in it, and I have to put the thread through the hole and back out. I could probably sew it without putting it through, but then the thread winds up in my way. That tail piece winds up in the way. And what I am not going to do is stitch this all the way to this end, because this end, if you can see, I cut these two different lengths, and that's because when I flip it and I make the hat, this will be on the outside, so that when I make the hat, I can fold this under the edge of the hat and make it have a nice clean edge. This way here. Got lots and lots of clips on here because I would rather have 1,000 clips and keep it straight than have a few clips and make it not so straight. That's what I'm going to try to do. And the clips won't do it. Tape will. I need to keep this piece in place. While I'm trying to get the stitch going. And if it doesn't want to participate with me the way I need it to, then I will make it participate with me. By taping over all the pieces, which will help hold all those layers in place, hopefully, long enough for me to get this under the pressure foot correctly. Get the pressure foot slammed down on it and get a stitch going. I like for my stitches to go right up against the edge of the piping and not leave any extra hanging out. That's why I make the piping the way I do. Why I like making my own piping. And that's why I changed I started to stitch it the other way and I changed back to this way. This is going to be putting it where when I pull this open, you only see that pipe piece, which is where the rope is. You don't see any of the flat. You don't see any of this flat edge. You only see this rounded piece. I'm stitching like right up against it, which I think makes the item look better. That's how I do it. Someone else may do it different. And got just a little bit I don't like from it. I should stop that a little bit sooner. And here's what I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see the two stitched edges here. Let me see, where's my camera? I'm trying to find out where the heck the camera is. There it is. You can see these two stitched edges. You can see how far apart these stitches are maybe. There's one stitch line here. There's another one there. And I did, that's what a difference it made in where it, on which side I stitched it on. Need to undo all this tape I put on here. Now I have a good clean edge on that, and then I'll clip this. When I sew this to the hat, this will be sewed to the hat, and then this will fold over it to give that front edge nice and clean stitching, because I'll fold it down when I do that, and not through this, but I will stitch this to the main body of the hat, and that way it'll be clean on the outside, and you'll just see a folded edge like this. On the outside, it'll be nice and clean. The bottom edge of the hat will be nice and clean, and so I hope they like it that way. Oh, my hand hurts. I have to clean up the stitch area right here. You can see where I went crooked, and I didn't quite get it as close to the edge as I should have. I can see that right here. I need to pull that in just a little bit. Now we'll go back and stitch through the same area. There we go. And you'll notice I'll always flip it where this longer piece is on the underneath. It gives me better control of working with it. Switch these down a little bit. Try to keep these edges together. And I don't worry about stitching through the tape. Stitching through tape is not an issue. I can absolutely pull the tape off after. It would not be the first time I've stitched through tape, won't be the last. But it does give me a handle to hold on to while I'm working on this. Whew. Throw things on my lap. Hi, Sue. I can't see who else came with. Hi, Stacy. Hi, CPR. And those are the only names I can see on the screen at this moment in time. Someone else in here, hello to you too. Now, I'm going to tell you something crazy. I would rather be hand stitching this because I feel like I have more control. I have to remember manually put it exactly where I want it. Which doesn't help you see it all. I cut off a lot of this extra trim on it, but I might have left the thread. I left the tape on that one. Yep, I did. This is the boring part of this because I'm sewing 4 of the exact same things. So there's nothing really exciting happening with it. It's my imagination. Jennifer, you want to say hello to the chat?
Hello, everybody.
I know that Marsha's in there, and Stacy, and Rosie, and Jennifer, and Tammy, and Phil, and Sue. One day I'm going to find the perfect clips for holding leather together to stitch it. I guess I could get a thin, or do a thin coat of glue on it to hold it in place. ahead of time. Is that mine?
Uh-huh. How would you like it?
I don't know what it is. Oh, I know what it is. It's my new cutting board.
Would you like me to open it for you?
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, it's that. It's that one. Ah. Okay, where would you like it now?
See, this is what I'm accomplishing, is putting those in here. And I'm gonna have to press it. But oh,
We can't see you, can we?
no, they cannot see you unless you're sitting right here. You have to come sit here for them to see you. Do not put it in my chair. Where are you going with it? Oh, you're looking at my chat. Rosie said hi. Cousin Sue said hi. Stacy said hi. Topher.
I see that.
You can just set my box here, and I'll open it a little bit. All right. I've got one more of these to sew before it's time to start clipping again, and I just dropped it. Oh.
All right. While I'm down here, do you need anything? Yeah.
Yeah, I need a lot of things, but nothing you can help me with today, babe.
And I know $1 million is one of them.
I'm trying.
Well, I think you
I'm
find
playing those numbers at the lottery.
that on aisle 5. That someone once told me.
$1 million is sitting on aisle 5.
I do believe.
Okay.
I think that's Walmart though.
At Walmart?
Yep.
At Wally World on aisle 5, you shall find $1 million. My grandson just said so. If the child were old enough to play the lottery and he won $1 million, he would give me money. Because that's what kind of child he is. And I'm going to take some time and press out these pieces this time before I start sewing everything together. So I get some good crisp edges. And I will be working on these a lot because I have a deadline to get them finished. Yeah, I might put a little bit of glue on the seams next time. I need to test that before I do it. I'm still getting a little slippage in my seams that I don't like. I tape off the things. Tape on that one. This one's got tape on it. And basically, if you sew through the tape, it perforates the tape. And you just have to pull it off of all the edges on both sides. And it's like it wasn't even there. Okay, this is a hat piece. That piece. That piece. That piece. And that piece. These are what we'll work on first. And then I'll work on this. I am going to have to turn the camera off to move it. And I will stop the camera while I move it. And ouch. Put my finger. Move from chair number 1 to chair number 2. And in theory, this will work out without issue. I have no idea what my camera is going to look like now. Let me see if I can pull up my camera. Got a lot of extra stuff on my desk right this minute. I need to move. I'm not working on this little fellow right now. Set his pattern there. I don't need the hammer. Don't need the tape. That leaves. I'm trying to see where you see my hands. Oh. I'm trying to get it where when I work, you see my fingers when I'm on the edge. I put that ruler there. You cannot see the ruler. There we go. Now you can see when my hands are on the edge, which is more useful than you not seeing where I'm working. And when I said before, you can't just rip it out and restitch it like you can with thread. Don't know if you can see. Is my light on under here yet? You can see the holes in this from where it was stitched previously. So if you try to restitch it, it makes it a little harder. I wonder if I could use that to mark holes for me to stitch. Because I can sure go through those holes. Huh. That'd be cool. I'm going to have to try that next time. Kind of use the machine to punch holes, tiny little holes, and then stitch through those tiny little holes. But I wonder if I can stitch 2 threads through those holes when I do it that way. Let me see something. If I stitch it through those tiny little holes, because that'd be like uber cool, because that would be like almost invisible holes. I can actually feel the holes on here. I'm not like a master of knowing exactly where holes are. I can feel the holes when I run the needle across it. So if I did that, how easy would it be to push another needle back through there? Ooh, I think I might have found a new way to do something here. Because that creates, it's going to make me do more stitching. Well, I can increase the length of the stitch. I'm going to have to check this out. Because if I can do that, you can't see. Obviously, I didn't pull this tight. But once I pounded it, that would give me a good little stitch there, because you can't see any hole through there. Look at that. There's no hole spaces through there. I absolutely have to test this now, because I can get 2 threads through the holes. Give me a nice little tight hole there. Shut up, Rosie. Oh, hi, MZ. Let me see who else is here since the last time I said hi. Everybody's hi to Topher. Yes, we do, Sue. Marcia actually took the one that she received, the garden quartz she received, and pulled up the video and turned hers as Kendra was turning it in the video and compared the two and was like, Sue does not have yours. I absolutely have yours. She and I were on the phone. And so, yeah, we worked it out, and it's going to be fine, because she's going to give it to Robbie. She's going to give mine to Robbie to bring to me. And I absolutely have one of her pieces that I'm going to give to Robbie to give to her when he goes down. So I'm fixing a little something I'm going to be sending the people when I make this. I made this little jar of leather poop. And I thought I should send it to them. Oh, I just got that all over my table. Isn't that nice? And I just wanted to seal it up. I got them a little jar of the blue and white leather bits. I can get it to look better, but it doesn't. This is part of leather crafting. This is what we work with. But I'm weird about, giving someone a little extra something. Let me get a little wetness on this. I need to get some more water down here. My water bottle's coming up empty. I reuse water bottles. So, yeah. So now we know we have a few very honest people in our groups that a gem, something comes up missing, and everybody's like, let me see if I've got it. I think I got it. No, I don't have it. You have it. So yeah, so Marcia and I will swap our stones around and everything, our pieces around, and everything will be fine. But I got a package. I cannot bring it up on the table for you to see, but I can absolutely open it. Oh, God, it's huge. Shut up, Rosie. Yeah, those lemurs were playing in Kendra's box. That's right, Phil. I don't have chair number 3 down here, Rosie. Yes. I absolutely highly recommend that when you claim things, you make a note of them in a phone, on a piece of paper, in your computer. I don't care. Make a list of what it is you ordered. Put the description of it if you need to. And that way, when you get your box in from whomever you ordered from, you can reconcile that list. And that's what happened. I mean, you might remember on my live, I was kind of confused because I knew I was supposed to be getting a garden and it wasn't there. Yeah. God, the box is bigger than the item. Huge, huge box compared to the item. But you all know I have this board that I cut on. I just got a new, which means that I'm going to be taking all this, disassembling my area a little bit. Because I got a new board that I think will look cleaner because it is black. And I'm going to see how it works. It was fairly inexpensive, so if it really doesn't work and I have to trash using it for this, that's fine, but it's just a brand new board I'm going to be using. It says it's a commercial cutting board, so we will see how it works. And if it works well, I'll see how long it takes for it to get all messed up. Because when I am putting holes in items, it actually dings up the board. That's one of the reasons why I have I put tape on the board after a while, because it also it puts little pieces of the leather in the board, and when you're working with a white board, then it has little black specks and blue specks and red specks, and I don't like the way it looks. I don't know if this is going to be any better, but we're going to find out. Just not today. So I'll set it right here so I can trip over it later. And blame it on Rosie. Because it'll have to be Rosie's fault, right? Rosie's still exhausted. Damn kids can't keep up with us old folks. Yes, Sue, you do have to keep track of who you got it from, because if I'm not mistaken, your garden quartz came from Robbie, not from Kendra. Who are you talking to, Rosie? So yeah, so this is what I got. And the one I use is 18 by 24. I usually use a 1 inch thick. That one is a 1/2 inch thick. I'm thinking about just putting that on top of this one. It might help muffle the sound having multiple layers. I might pull my poundo board, is what it's called. It's supposed to help muffle the pounding sound, but I don't know. I didn't say I saw you do any. Oh, I seen Rosie do it. What? Move the Did you see Rosie move my garden quartz into Marsha's box? Because that was the evil that was done. Rosie, you're such a nasty girl. You dirty girl. You're so naughty. Naughty. Oh, I don't want to do center. Center points. Center points. Go from the center points. I did mark center on each side. And so I rock it back and forth, and I can see where that center point is. Should be it by the ends. I have to still unpin my last experiment on this technique of getting this together. I want to get back on some things making with hand stitching. So I want to get these done so I can get off the sewing machine. I will be doing a lot of work on these off the camera because I absolutely have to get them done. Let's see what that makes sense. Yeah, give me a good line. Then I have to flip, and I'll be able to stitch that in. And this one I'd had this clip together just to hold it. Give this a little bit of a crease. Inverted from the way I need it, but it'll work for the way it now. I can always press it the right way after. I need to get my hand between the layers. One of the things I have to do is make sure that I have all layers in here together when I stitch this little sandwich together. And I was hoping by clipping it ahead of time, it would help create the curve in the piping that I needed to get this done. Shoot. Come on, quit being difficult. Being Mr. Difficulty today. It's Hi Terry. It's really hard because my hands have been giving me so many problems, which is why I'm wearing compression gloves, because of the pain in my hands. I'm not going to be able to clip it off to the edge. I'm going to have to clip it real on there and deal with the clips as I go when I'm stitching. And since I talked to Marcia earlier today, all I've been doing is singing the stupid Yellow Submarine song, Marcia. Hi, Free Spirit. Sorry I missed you. I think I need to, after I get this clipped, I'm going to take a break and stretch my thumbs a little bit. Let's see. Come on. Oh my God, you're like the difficult child. Oh, my camera is acting stupid again, I see. And it always does it where it blocks out what I'm actually doing, which is locked up as well, so it doesn't really matter. So hold on a minute. Let me slap my camera in a second. Let me see if I can tell my camera it wants to cooperate with me. Yes, see if I can get this stupid little thing to pull up. Continue back to the app. Now it's working again. And would you believe it was an advertisement that was causing the problems? An advertisement started on the app, which blocked the camera from functioning proper. Oh. Feel like a little hoodlum in a movie with my fingertips hanging out of my gloves. And this wonderful pain relief stuff. I'm trying to get my hands to relax a little bit. Oh, this one just popped. Stretch it. Ah. I was doing this the other day, putting my thumbs together and stretching them, pushing them against each other basically and stretching them. And I found that relieves some of the pain. I need to answer a text real quick because someone is having a panic attack over something that has nothing to do with them. someone panicking about when I'm going to be getting my vehicle back, because I am supposed to be leaving my house on the 20th, the evening of the 20th. Prior to that, I am supposed to go to someone's house and pick up some stuff that goes on this road trip with us. And he's panicking because this time last year, I already had all his stuff. So he's panicking unnecessarily because the sky is falling to him. That's a good question. What's for supper? I should ask the family that. What will tonight's food be? What, Rosie? Why are you smacking your face? You love what? Smacking your face? I'm absolutely stretching on my hand here. You're responding to what text? Oh, the link I sent you last night. It is a pretty place. I have to fill out some stupid form, and so I might have to get on with you. I can't ice my hands. If I ice my hands, they won't move. Ice does my body bad. And it's what it is there's something right here. That tendon or something that comes right through here. That's what the problem is. Oh, me making a comment about my friend stressing out. Yes. I mean, we're going on a trip and we're supposed to be carrying stuff. I'm supposed to be taking stuff for him so that he doesn't have to ship it. La, 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 la. And then my vehicle is in the shop still, so he's freaking out over that. Are you going to have your car back on time? And it's like, you know what? I'll call the shop tomorrow. I was supposed to call today and didn't. I got tied up with work. I got on a meeting at 3:00, 3 or 3:30, and didn't get off the call until after 5:30, which is insane. But, is what it is kind of thing. I took all the extras off of here. But so yeah, so I didn't get to call the shop today like I was supposed to check on the car status. So I will call them tomorrow, and I'm going to give them hell because they were told when I needed my vehicle for and what I had to do, you know, what I had to get done, that I have to take it to their other shop after I get it from them. I have to take it to their other shop for an oil change and tune up and who's it's and what's it. And they really don't want to lose me as a client, but they will if they don't get off their asses. They've had the car far long enough to get the work done that needs to be done. With a piece of thread hanging off. I mean, tape. No, I don't have magic powers. Do not have magical powers. Which is the wrong side. I'm not going to do that fancy stuff. Forget it. Forget it. My little roller doohickey is like my iron. It puts things where I want them. I'm online. I think this child wants my attention. Hold on a second. Everybody. Yeah. There's one of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. I might make another one tonight. I'm pressing it with this roller, which helps crease it. Which is equivalent of like ironing it. Yeah, that one looks really, I like that one. I like that one a lot. Now if I can just get more like that. I hear one of my kitties down here. But he will not come climb up on my lap while I'm working on this stuff. One of the things using this roller can do is if the seam isn't exactly right, I can press it and make it look right. There's a certain amount of give you can create with it. But I can also glue the edge if I need to. That's why we buy Leatherwork, right? And yes, that is exactly what the glue is called. It is called Leatherwork. Where'd my blue pen go? Ah, there it is. Drawing my guidelines because I went off my stitch line there for some reason. And I did it on both sides. So I want to throw that back under the machine. Correct that piece. Now my other grandchild needs me. Let me mute my mic just a second. Okay, I'm back. Thank you, Jennifer. I absolutely try to do my very best. I try to make every piece look my very best. And if I don't like the way it looks, then I am going to try to fix that. And I got this one is the same way. It slipped. Both of these, they slipped slightly in one particular, and I can absolutely see my stitch here where I slipped it. Okay, so where is that ruler? There it is. One of the things I like about this ruler is I can use it on an edge. There we go. And in theory, that'll fix that. And this pen is the one that the ink will absolutely disappear when I wet it, when it gets wet. So it'd be real easy for me to clean it up when I'm done here. And just run a damp cloth on the inside. Let me see something. See if I can run some clips right up to where I want it stitched. Let's see if I marked it correctly. Yeah. Yep, that is exactly where I need that stitched. As you can see how right now that looks like a good edge. If I take these two clips out, you can see that I've pulled it, I stitched it too far off. So I've marked where I have to fix it. And that goes back to my sewing machine. And I'm redoing the third one. And so I will stitch on that later. I'm trying to do things in such a way that I don't get totally frustrated with it and mess it up like I did last time. Because I tried to work through my frustration, and that was the absolute wrong thing to do. Oh, your diamond art? Absolutely, Jennifer. Let me get caught up on the commissions that I have sitting in front of me. I think I have two of these Garrison caps I'm making, Sue. Let me pull up my commission sheet. So I have the 2 Garrison caps I'm doing. And then I move into okay, I need to see what this is. Tells me there's a file here that oh, I'm good. But I have the 2 Garrison caps I'm remaking right now. And then I move back to the shoe purse, which in here I typed it up as the show purse because, you know, once I get that done, I'll be able to make more of those. And then I have a belt I need to do the stitching on. I'm not making anything. I'm sewing something for someone else. I have to get the price on this one. I need to mark that one in red. So I need to get him the price on that. These were all paid for. I need to get some shipping done. But and then I have the deposit put down on a hat. It's a flat cap, but it's different from Scott's. This one is a 7-panel flat cap. So that's going to be an interesting one to do. Then I need to talk to Joyce and MZ and Heather because all of them bought me pretties towards commissions. Oh. And I have Kimberly Mills hat. I need to check and make sure everything's good on that. I need to give someone else pricing on an item. I need to give Lisa a price on something. And I guess when I see Kendra, if and when I see Kendra in Florida, I'm hoping I do. I hope she gets to make it and everything's fine. If she makes it down to Florida, then I can go over some patterns with her and see what she wants me to make her. Yeah, I'm not really taking on anything else for a little while. I have someone else that I need to talk to about 2 commissions they want done, and that's going to keep me busy for a while. Yeah, but I just have people panicking, and it's just driving me nuts. They panic over nothingness. Wow, I just realized this subject says it's Tuesdays, and it is not Tuesdays, it's Thursdays. So that's really good. But yeah, I see hope in getting my commissions caught up. Yeah, I know my streams are not the most interesting. I'm gonna have to hire someone. Hire someone, pay them exactly what I get paid. Nothing. Get someone to come on here with me so they can read chat to me, because Lord knows it's hard for me to do it while I'm at the sewing machine. But I am going to do this because I am going to redo one of those pieces. I wasn't happy with the way it looked when I finished it. I got something catching my stuff. And I am reasonable. If I'm not happy with something, I'll just redo it, because I'm not going to give someone something that it looks like crap. And the reason why I'm not happy with this one is I actually stitched too much into it. So when I flip the edge, the piping kind of disappears on this side. It dips down. And I'm not going to give them that. I just can't. I can't with a good mind give that to someone. I'm going to have to make a new piping though, because I don't have enough piping to do that. But one of the things I did do when I ordered my leather was I ordered more than enough to be able to remake a piece or two if necessary. And that was very intentional. Since I've got that one, oh, I need to figure out which piece that is, because they go in different directions. And this one is that way. Yep, it is a that way. Which I could do that way. Then okay, I need to move. Got the pattern that when I get caught up, I'm going to work on. I want to make this in leather. Thank you, Stacy. So all my Mandalorian folks out there will be able to watch me make the Grogu. It's two different patterns. One is the big Grogu, and the other one is a smaller Grogu that has the little pod with it. And yes, I am tracing this pattern directly onto the leather. Yes, I am using ink. It is going to disappear. And I think I just did this piece backwards when I needed it. I did it upside down because it needs to be this way. So I needed it this way, not flipped. That's okay. Because this ink will come off. I am not going to fight getting it off right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this leather and go for a different area to cut my pieces out, and I can worry about that later. More than likely that won't, it won't show. The ink does not show through. Let me see something. No, the ink does not show through, so I don't have to go to another area. I can use this area because all I have to do is change what ink I'm looking at. I will scooch it off that edge a little bit because I wet that edge. There'll be some edge up here. Pull up the edge just a little bit. And make sure I cut out the right ones. I should just change what ink I'm using. I've traced so much stuff off with the blue, I've actually had to replace the ink cartridge in the pen. There. Move my weights out of the way. Scooch it down a little bit. Apply weights. Make sure that I have enough to work with here. I need to undo this piece. I use a low tack masking tape so that I can do just what I'm doing here. Pull it off and not rip everything up. Remember those pieces, the brim of the hat are two different lengths, so that I have that extra ½ inch to turn under. I think I'm off the camera right at this moment. Come back on camera. And this is where I keep all my pattern pieces until I'm finished with the project, so that I can redo pieces as needed. I really need to find a place to take these edge burner pieces. Let's see if this will work. It could work now. The last thing I need to do is lose my edge burner pieces. First thing we'll do is just cut down what I'm working with here. So I'm not working with a whole hide, or what's left of this hide, which is a pretty good bit. And what I'm going to do will make absolutely no sense to most people. This pattern originally is made with a ½ inch seam allowance, which sounded fine and dandy, but it's not. Not for what I needed to do. So I had actually cut it down. So now I have to go back through after I've traced this out and knock off ¼ inch. And this is basically how I alter patterns when I need to alter a pattern for someone. Trying to put this out where you can see it maybe a little better. Might need to zoom in some. See if that helps. So what I'm doing is the center of the ruler, there's a line that's 1/8 of an inch. And so I'm lining that up with the edge of the leather and then marking, which means I'm marking it at 1/8 of an inch. A 1/4 of an inch, not 1/8. Because this ruler is a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm knocking off half of the seam allowance at the top. Which coincides with the piping edge. Oh, I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because my husband went to the grocery. So dogs are acting stupid. And my grandchildren are having the great debate over who used up the milk that Ollie needed to do dinner. So I had both grandkids down here. One complaining about the lack of milk, the other complaining about dinner being late because of the lack of milk, and they didn't think that it was their fault, even though they're the ones that drank the milk. And yes, life at home. This should actually come to. This is one of the reasons why I make comments about how each item I make is unique. Making two that are absolutely identical is slim chance to make two absolutely identical items. Oh, hi, Lisa. Let me see. Where are we? Just fix the diamond. Oh, blanket diamonds, yes. Oh, I thought you meant diamond art earlier. I was confused. You're talking about crocheted diamonds. And then Lisa came in, and I missed saying hello. Marsha, longer than our talk? No, I miss Jennifer leaving. Lisa. Wow. Lisa, what time is your stream tonight? because that'll tell me what I need to do. Thursday pretties, 9:45, so about an hour from now. No, Marcia. I'm good. Doing this wouldn't be so bad if it was just a big straight edge. It's the lack of straight edge that's killing me. Oh, that's a short talk then, Marcia. That's not forever. Marcia and I have a tendency to get on the phone and talk about everything under the sun. And sometimes we remember what we called to talk about. I think one of those calls is how I wound up with a body. Oh, Rosie, shut up, you whiny baby. What time did you get up this morning? I mean, how many hours of sleep did you get last night and this morning or today? Some of us had to get up and work. These kids today, they just can't keep up with us old folks. Let me cut these two pieces apart. So you didn't get up in the morning. I did. After you got offline, I had to answer some emails and stuff. before I could head to bed. And then got up and got to work this morning. Huh. My body's horrible. Tis what it is, though. So here's piece number 1. I need to do some tests because these inks are supposed to disappear on their own as well. I did not inspect the inside of the hat that I'd already been working on. But the white has sat on the blue hat, on the blue part for quite some time and hasn't disappeared on me, so I don't believe that part for a moment. What's normal? Normal's a setting on a washing machine, Rosie. People aren't normal. I always try to get my sleep schedule normal, what people classify as normal. Yeah, it never works. And I realized what I just did is wrong. I got to recut one of these. This one is that one is correct. I need to recut that one. I need to flip the pattern. So when I cut that one, I need it to go that way. that way. Okay. I should have been paying attention. There's more on that piece. So we won't be using that piece. And don't worry, any piece that I cut off of here that I'm not going to use on this hat, I will still use. Oh, that's what it was. Bent it. I can make keychains and use this, or I can use it as accent pieces on something. Mm. 90% of that stuff will get used. Just like the hat that I started making, that I stopped making because I wasn't happy with the way they were coming out. Last night I sat here and made a keychain from some of that leather. That'll hold that edge down better. And I will be working on this during the auction tonight. Tully's sales, crystal sales. And I did not take the extra quarter inch off the back side of this because I can always take it off as I go. I'm working on these and deciding how I want it to look and fit together. All right, where did Shorty go? There he is. Yeah, I am going to be doing a lot of it offline. It's these hats specifically. I don't love working on the sewing machine for my leather work. And until I redo this pattern completely, that's it. That's what it is. It's a sewing machine pattern. I'd have to redraft it to make it a hand pattern. And the thing is I've made these before. I've made this hat before without issue. And so I don't know why, it's like all of a sudden I'm having issues with it. I'm familiar with this pattern. I've made 3 of them. The first one I made came out perfect. So it's like, why all of a sudden is this giving me a hard time? And the only thing I can think of is I'm distracted. Yeah, camera light's on. Sorry for my hand, the back of the hand on there. There's just so many moving parts on this. And it's going back and forth between the machine and the computer. But I have to get these finished this weekend. I don't have a choice. And then I have to overnight them. And pray the post office does their job and gets them there overnight. And I'll probably overinsure them. Because Lord knows if I have to make these again, it needs to be worth my while. But once I finish these white and blue hats, you will not see me sew another white and blue hat online. Unless it's a totally different style. Yeah, first time I made one of these Garrison caps was 2018, 2016. Somewhere 2016. 2015, 2016 was the first time I made one of these Garrison caps. No, I take that back. It was 2017. Because it was when I got I got a specific pair of boots. Okay, so this matches now. Just gonna clippy doodle this. And like I said, I'm not worried about the writing on here because first of all, it is a disappearing ink. But also it's going to be on the inside. No one's going to see it. It's literally going to be sealed inside this hat. Because you think about it, the writing is here. This is going to be flipped, and then all of this is going to be sewn up. So the writing will be in here and it won't be seen. And this is the one I'm going to make. So here, because that is in the use me pile. Get this set over here. This is not the same blue. I'm 99.95% sure this is not the blue that I'm currently using. And it is not. We can see the difference in the blues. This is the original blue I was using, and this is the blue I'm using now. But I got as close as I could to the original one. So I didn't have enough of the original one to do anything with. I don't think that's long enough. Oh, actually it is. Because I need something inch-wise. That's right, it's about 18 inches. And this piece is well over that. But yay, this scrap will become not a scrap. And that is the same color, as you can see, the same one. So this scrap will now be not a scrap. Correct, Marcia. And I think it's because I'm more comfortable doing things by hand that this becomes a problem. Yeah, this is more than long enough to do what I need to do. On the normal thing, Marcia, my husband says normal is a setting on a washing machine, nothing more, nothing less. No body is normal. I'm gonna have to find a way to come down and hang out with you for a week or a weekend. That is the wrong one. Get a piece of stick. Who's still here today? Yeah, that's right. Now I know I have that stupid roller flatcher around here. Oh, there it is. Just making a little crease in it to make it easier when I go to put it all together. I have a long cord over here. Is this the cord I'm needing? Dear Lord, that's the Diggum cord I was looking for earlier. That's the one I need to have hooked up to my phone because it's longer, I think. I think this is the longer of the two. I'm going to check that before I get off here. Oh, I know, Marcia. I was just saying. I know you have to live within comfort levels right now because of his medical. Absolutely understand that too. Need to order some more of that cord because this cord is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I am going to take my compression gloves off because the last thing I want to do is glue my compression gloves. I do need to make sure I separate right from left because if I don't do that, when I go to put them on, they feel weird. My little container of glue. Oh, I got a hair in there. Lovely. I have long purple hair. I have hair everywhere. Back to kindergarten over here. Glue time. I got a little clump on my glue. Every time I have to pull out the glue, stuff like that, it's what it's like. We're going back to kindergarten. Let me show you how those things they taught you in kindergarten fell over into adult life. Gluing mattered back then because you needed to be able to do things when you got older. Oh my goodness, what time is it? Oh, it's getting about that time. I think Lisa and them come on in about 30 minutes. So I should probably get off of here so that people can go off and use the facilities and get a snack, get a drink, stretch your bones, and all those good things. before Lisa comes on live. Lisa and Kendra, 2 Lees in a pod. It is, this cord is almost, it's basically a miniature paracord. It is exactly the same thing as paracord, except it's a smaller diameter. So it has an inner core to it, and it is a braided out exterior, like just like a paracord is. It just happens to have the perfect size for making this, for what I like using for this. And I can't remember the name of what it is I'm making. Yeah. But when it's stitched up against this cord, it makes the perfect size. Yes, piping. I said it earlier. I just brain dead. And it became not that important of a word. Put this on here. Flippy doodle it together. Just for the sake of letting it dry. Let this. Push that right up in there. I hate that the little red pieces came off of some of my clips, but they still work. There. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And if you're up for it, we would love to see you over at 2 Lees in a Pod at 9:45. They will be having their crystal sale. I will drop their link in shortly. Me up. My streaming list. So at 9:45, 9:30 to 10 o'clock, somewhere around that time is when 2 Lees in a Pod normally goes live. And they go live Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we will be jumping over there after this. One of our support persons is Rosie's Random Treasure. Rosie is on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Wednesday and Sunday, it is at 7:15. And Saturdays, it's at 5:15. If you enjoy rock picking and fishing, then jump over and see our Flutter Yo. On Fridays, you can find most of us over on Get Swamped. We will watch Robbie's live, hear what's going on at the farm, hear him answering some questions, and then he will have a sale and sell all kinds of cool stuff. We enjoy our time over there. Stop by and see us. If you enjoy nature and animals, outside of your normal household pets, you should go on and watch some of his videos. You will see crocodiles, alligators, lemurs, exotic lizards, some of them venomous, kinkajous, tortoises, turtles, birds, and various other critters. You never know what someone might drop by and drop off. I've watched a live where someone dropped off a possum with babies because his dog had found them and he was afraid his dog was going to eat them. So he gathered up the mama and babies and dropped them off at Robbie's door for Robbie to make sure they were kept safe. So drop on over there and see them. He does have a 501c3, so if you're looking for a tax write-off, you may donate money and he will send you a receipt. He will gladly accept your money if you like to fund animal rescues. He is one of the gator trappers in the area, so he gets nuisance gators and emergency gator calls. He tries to only do live captures and relocations. He does not like to have to take the life and unalive a gator if at all possible. So he is a very much pro-life animal being an animal. So drop on by and see us over there. And I hope you all have a wonderful time. I'm going to continue working on this while I'm watching Lisa and Kendra on Two Leaves in a Pod. And I will continue working on this Friday as well. By the time I get back online on Saturday, I might have this done or nearly done. And we'll just move on to something else if that's the case. So I hope to see you all Saturday. I will be on approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon and streaming until a little bit before Rosie goes on live. If life gets in the way, I might have to cancel that stream, but I will put a note in it when I cancel it. So I wish you all the best and bye for now.